Hello, fifth graders. So what we're going to do today is a little bit of a review since I wasn't there before spring break. So we're going to review customary length and capacity and weight. So all of this is stuff that you've done before. We're just going to review just so I make sure that you understand, especially since I wasn't there before. So we're going to start with, oh, sorry, that was bouncy. We're going to start with length, okay? Remember, make sure you take these notes as I write them down. So this is just going to be a review for you, but with length, we start with inches. That's the shortest one. Then we go to feet. Then we go to yards. And then we go to miles. So this is from smallest to biggest. Okay, so you probably already know this one, but there's 12 inches in 1 foot. And then there are 3 feet in 1 yard. And then there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Okay. So we're just going to do a couple of practice problems with this, just 2 for this one, okay? So I'm going to follow my steps still, all right? So I'm going to say, first step is write the equation. You guys are going to do it with me. So my equation is 243 feet equals how many yards? Step 2 is write what you know, what you know, what you know. So I'm going to look, what do I know about feet and yards? Okay, I know that 3 feet is in 1 yard. So I'm going to write 3 feet equals 1 yard. All right, third step is, do you do bigger to smaller, multiply? Or do you do smaller to bigger, divide? Which one do you do? So I'm looking, I'm going from feet to yards. Feet to yards. So I'm going smaller to bigger. So step 3, smaller to bigger, which means I need to divide. So I'm going to look at my 243 and my 3, and I'm going to do 243 divided by 3. Now I don't know what that is, okay? So I have to go over here and I have to divide. Actually, I'm just going to do it right here. Okay. So 3 cannot go into 2, but 3 can go into 24. It can go in 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24, so when I subtract, I get 0. Then I bring down my 3. 3 goes into 3 1 time, and then when I multiply, I get no remainder or no fraction. So step 4, solve the equation. My 243 feet equaled 81 yards. Okay, good job. Next problem. I'm going to go right here. All right, step 1 is write the equation. So 5.5 feet equals blank inches. That's my next problem. Okay, step 2 is write what you know, what you know, what you know. So I look at what I know about feet and inches. So I have 1 foot equals 12 inches. All right, then I have to see, do I do bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? So I'm going from feet to inches, so that's bigger to smaller. Bigger to smaller means multiply. So I'm going to multiply 5.5, remember we're not going to use the 1, times 12, okay? So I have to remember what I know about multiplying fractions. So do you remember what we do with this? Do you remember the times plus? So I'm going to do 2 times 5 equals 10 plus 1 equals 11. So I'm going to do 11 over, my denominator doesn't change, 2. Now do you remember what this 12 goes over? The 12 goes over 1 to make it into a fraction, okay? So I already know 11 times 12, but if you didn't know, you could solve it. 11 times 12 is 132. 2 times 1 is 2. So now I have to see 132 over 2. Do you remember what this line means? This line means to divide. So now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to divide. 132 divided by 2. Okay? 2 goes into 13 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. And when you subtract, you get 1. Bring down the 2. 2 goes into 12, also 6 times. And when I multiply, I have no remainder. So my answer for 5.5 feet, 5.5 feet equals 66 inches. Okay? All right. So that's all the practice we're going to do with length. Okay? Now I'm going to talk about capacity, and that's how we hold liquids. So we start with something called fluid ounces, and those are very small. Okay? And the way that looks is FLOZ. Okay? That's the abbreviation. Then I go to cups. So think of like a measuring cup. And then I go to pints. And then I go to quarts. We're getting bigger each time. And then we go to gallons. So think of like a big gallon of milk. That's the biggest one. So take these notes with me. 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. Then 2 cups equals 1 pint. Okay, so I'm getting bigger. 2 pints equals, what do you think? 1 quart. And 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. Okay, so 2 more practice problems when we talk about capacity, all right? So my first one is, hope you're still with me, writing them down. 9 pints equals how many quarts? That's our question. Okay, so I'm going to look. What do I know? Step 2 is write what you know. What do I know about pints and quarts? So I know that there's 2 pints in 1 quart. So 2 pints equals 1 quart. All right, step 3 is, do I go bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? So pints to quarts, I'm going to go over here. Pints to quarts, I'm going smaller to bigger, which means I divide. So I'm going to do 9 divided by 2. All right, now I'm going to think about that. I'm going to think about what I know about 9 divided by 2. I know that 2 can't go into 9, okay? So 2 can go into 9 4 times. 2, 4, 6, 8, okay? It can go in 4 times. So I'm going to write my answer. So it's going to go in 4 times. So that means my answer is 4 quarts. But that only got me up to 8, not to 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. So that means I have 1 left over. When I have 1 left over, it's going to stay in pints, okay? So 9 pints does not come out evenly into quarts. 9 pints equals 4 quarts with 1 pint left over. So even for this, we sometimes have remainders, okay? Okay, one more. Step 1, write the equation. 6 1/8 quarts equals blank cups. Okay, so step 2, write what you know. So I'm going to look at quarts and cups. Okay, here's quarts, but cups are up here. So if there's 2 cups in a pint and 2 pints in a quart, that must mean that there has to be 4 of these, because 2 of those make that, and then 2 more of those make that. So there's actually 4 cups in 1 quart. So 1 quart equals 4 cups. Okay. Now I have to think, am I going bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? So I'm going from quarts to cups, so I'm going bigger to smaller. Bigger to smaller means I need to multiply. So I have my 6 1/8 times 4. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing as last time. Okay. So 6 times 8 is 48, plus 1 is 49 over 8. My denominator doesn't change. Times My 4 goes over 1, remember? Okay. Now to save us a little time, I already solved this for you. 49 times 4 is 196. 8 times 1 is 8. Okay? Then I'm going to go solve this. All right? 196 divided by 8. 196 divided by 8. So 8's going to go into 19 2 times. Doesn't go into 1. 2 times 8 is 16. And when I subtract my 9 minus 6, I get 3. Then I bring it down. Okay? 8 goes into 36 4 times. And 4 times 8 is 32. So before, a long time ago, we would have said that there's a remainder. But now we know what to do with that remainder. We know that this is actually our numerator and this is our denominator. So we get an answer of 24 and 4/8. But we also know what 4/8 is. Think about it for a second. 4/8 is actually the same as 1/2. So 6 1/8 quarts equals 24.5 cups. Okay, 5th grade. So you're going to have 2 practice problems about length. That's in 12-1. Okay, you're going to have 2 practice problems about capacity. This is capacity. That is 12-2. Then you're going to have 2 practice problems for 12-3, which is the video I made for you yesterday. So if you need a reminder, go back to the video that I made yesterday, okay? Or the notes that you took yesterday. You only have to do 6 practice problems today, and that's it. All right? Have a good day.